Hey folks, it's Frithgar here, how you doing? Just getting onto the little Zeta here and starting it up, and it really does look like we are making some serious progress with this tractor. We've gotten most of the way across the field. There is only a little strip left. We've got less than a quarter of it to go, which is absolutely fantastic. I genuinely did not think that we would be able to finish this field with this tractor before the end of the series. Yeah, it is. You look there, it is most of the way across the field. Anyway, let's just set that one going. He can carry on. You can see we've now got $10 million. I was actually in the process of increasing that amount, and if I can remember which button I'm supposed to press. Is that one? No. Is that one? No. No. Maybe it doesn't work while you've got the hired help going. Let's just stop and back up a little bit. And... right, no. Ah, there you go. Right, so you can't have the hired help going. When you're in the tracks, you press Alt, Control, and 0. And it sounds the horn. And then you can add some more money. Now, this is actually... we started off with $100 million. And it was because Daddy said that we'd been wasting our life. And so he gave us $100 million and said we had to go out into the world and we had to make something of ourselves. So there we go. There's another $100 million. We had to make something of ourselves, so we came here to this farm and we started farming. But we spent all our money, and we haven't really got a lot to show for it. So what we've done is we've gone back to Daddy, and we've said, Daddy, we seem to be struggling a bit. We can't really make a go of it, so 100 million is obviously not enough to be able to farm properly. So we need more money. And so Daddy said, oh, okay, well, I don't really know very much about farming. Obviously, it's an expensive business, all that big machinery and stuff. So, yes, here you go. Here's another $100 million. So there we go. We'll put that one going again. This one has drifted quite considerably now, right over to the side here, but it's still filling. So we're going to leave that one there, just filling away quite nicely, tidily, just quietly out the way, and not really bother with it. Right, so the next thing that I wanted to do, actually need to go, you know what, let's just go to here and I will walk, rather than flicking through the machinery like I'm doing. Our cows, we need to feed them a little bit more than we have been feeding them. So what we're going to do is we're going to come racing down through here. Look at the grass that is piled up in the middle here. This is redonkulous. We're going to have to do something about that. We'll see if we can get one of the feeder things, the cleaning robots, and put through there. I've made a few changes to this one. Now, the standard speed is the same. That hasn't changed. There's still 120 miles an hour. But if I lower that one and start it, look, see, it's already gone to 76 litres. And if I go, I've just jumped forward a little bit. What I've done is that these particular vehicles, they have a fill scale value. And you can change the fill scale value so that it basically, for every litre of grass that it cuts, it puts into the machine. I increase the speed at which we could cut. So I've changed it to 1,000, but even with 1,000, it's still filling slowly. It doesn't... we're going to need a lot more than this. I'm also mowing considerably faster. I upped the speed that I could mow at. So we are going to be able to change... It's going to be considerably better doing it like this than it is... oh, than it was to start with. So we can get a load of food in for them. We managed to get 100,000 litres in each of the machines, and then we took it in and we tipped it. So while we drive around a little bit here and we do a little bit of mowing, my question for this week that I asked you last week was this huge idea that I had for this project, where we would plough up the entire map, all the way around, every single bit that we can. That doesn't actually include here in the cattle pens. I had a few people suggest that I could in fact go into the map in the editor and edit the map so that I remove the fences. I don't know anything about map editing for a start, so it would require me having to learn how to do the map editing and everything. But number two, I don't want to do that. I don't want to be modifying a map. If I'm doing a Let's Play, I like to have the map how the creator intended it. Now, I'm not sure that the creator of the map intended me to be playing the machinery and everything the way that I'm doing it. That's fine. I can live with that because we're changing all of these other things and we're just making like minor changes. But I don't want to change anything on the map because so many of you would like to have the upload when I'm finished. You'd like to be able to have the map and use it later on. So because you'd like to be able to play the save game file, I can't go uploading the save game file if I've made changes to the map itself. So I'm not going to do that, which means that we won't be ploughing up anything within the cattle pastures or anything like that. That being said, what are we up to at the moment? There's only 150,000 litres. I think I should increase the fill scale level at the moment, or the fill scale value is on. I think I changed it to 1,000. I think I need to change it to 10,000 to do something to be a little bit more productive, I think, because it's still taking ages to get anything. I am getting a little bit of lag at the moment, a few lag spikes. I'm not quite sure what that's coming from. It's probably to do with the cows, or it might even be the machine itself. It might be causing a few issues. But yeah, I asked you if you wanted me to plough up this map, or if you thought that it was just too much, it was too big a project to be able to do, or if you wanted me to just do north of the road and do the top half of the map. I had 2,770 people answer that particular question, and of those 2,770, we had 227 people want me to do just north of the road. So not very many, really. 427 people said no, they thought that project was going to be a little bit too big, and 2,116 people liked it a lot and thought that yes, I definitely should go ahead and do this particular project, and just sort of see what we can do with it. Now, I've had suggestions for using a much bigger plough, make the plough wide enough to do the entire map in one pass. I'm not going to do that. Reason is, I don't like the idea of doing it all in a single pass. It's kind of, it defeats the object of the project. But not only that, it would also plough up bits that we don't want to plough up. We don't want to be running a plough through the yard here where the cows are and things like that. So there's quite a few bits that I feel could actually get spoiled if we were to do it that way, if we were to plough up the whole map. And so for that reason, I'm choosing not to do that. But we will start, after we've done the sugar beet, that's our next project, is to start ploughing up the entire map. So let me just stop this one a second. We've got 300,000 litres of grass just from that little run around, which isn't too bad. I think I will try to increase the fill scale value again after this and see if I can come up with something better. At the moment, we've got 500,000 litres of grass, which isn't a great deal. With that bit that we've just done, that's now add up to 800,000 litres. That's not too bad. 800,000 litres isn't too bad. So it's enough to sort of keep us going, and I will play around with these later and see if we can't maybe get a little bit more out of them. So the next thing that we need to do is we need to feed them the rest of the stuff that we're going to feed them. And I went down through here. Well, I'm going down through here. I went into the XML and I altered the value of every single bale we've now got on the map to 4 million litres, which is a huge amount. So what we're going to do is we're going to get this one over here and start this bad boy up. Bring this one round. Easy does it. This one's still slow. I probably should have sped this one up a little bit as well, but I didn't actually think about it at the time. That's okay. So what we want is we want a bale of straw in here. And I need to slow down to normal speed. So we get a bale of straw in there, 4 million litres. The capacity of this one is now 16 million. I'm going to take a bale of hay and I'm going to drop that one in. Actually, I'm going to get 2 bales of hay and I'm going to drop them in. There we go. 1 bale of hay there and a second bale of hay. And then we got to go and get silage from the clamp outside. So we drop that in. And now I'll get another bale of straw here, and this one I'm running over to the cows. Oops. I'm going to run this one over here to the cows, and we're going to drop this one in here so that the cows have got some straw. Chuck that in there. There we go. So now if we take a look, the cows have got 4.46 million litres of straw in there. That's fine. That's going to be more than enough straw for them for a very long time now, so we're not going to need to worry about straw for them. All we need to do with this one is we've got 12 million litres of straw and hay in it. We need to go and get the silage. Now, I'm hoping that 16 million will be able to go into this one without causing any problems. That's what I'm hoping. I've also adapted the front of this one ever so slightly, but it didn't work quite the way that I was hoping, actually. I was kind of hoping that I would be able to just drive straight forward into the heap. but it's not. It doesn't pick up in front of this machine very well. So what I've actually got to do is I've got to drive down the side of the silage clamp, but I've got it really, really fast, so it's going to do this pretty quickly. And we'll come down to this one as well. That one's already open. But if I move to... I'll show you in a minute once we get down the other end. We'll get all of this plastic off and we'll run right down the side of the clamp. And then I will show you, just go along the end of the clamp, what I mean. Because we're probably going to put most of this silage that we've got into the machine now. I don't think there's going to be very much left over by the time we're finished. So if I drive forward... See, it takes the sides, but it doesn't actually take the material that's directly in front of this one. And I'm not sure why it's doing that. I couldn't quite figure it out when I was having a play around in the editor to alter the sort of the widths and the dynamics of the machine. So yeah, for whatever reason, it won't pick up directly in front of it. Or it will, but it does so sort of very, very slowly and in kind of slightly bugged fashion. So we'll not worry about that too much, and what we do, we just drive straight down the side of it. I mean, there, see right there, we've left a tiny little bit, and unfortunately the way that silage works is there's no compression at all. With chaff you can drive over it and it just kind of spreads it around a little bit, but with silage it's just a solid lump on the ground that's got no give in whatsoever. And the fact that it's got no give does make it does sort of create some issues. It creates some problems. So you can't drive over it at all. It does make it very, very difficult doing that. But if we look here, all we got to do is just we keep spooning this silage in until we get the optimal ratio. Straw is already at the optimal ratio. We just need to keep increasing the silage quantity until we have enough. And we can fill this thing right up. If we can get 4 million litres of silage in here, then it will fill this one right up to full capacity. And then we can go and feed the cows. Now, it should empty out reasonably quickly, because I think it does it on a percentage of the total fill value per second, rather than actual quantity of unloading per second. And then once we've done this, once we've got the cows fed, that's everything that we need to worry about for cows at the moment. We'll be heading down to the shop, and we're going to be buying a new machine. We're actually going to get several new machines. I've made a couple of alterations, and I'm thinking that I'm going to go with just one of the options rather than showing you both of them. I will tell you what the other one is, but I'm sort of thinking that I don't really want to do that this time, because we're starting the sugar beet harvest. That's essentially what we're going to be doing. We're going to start up this sugar beet harvest. It's been a long time coming. We've been waiting for this for ages. I think it's going to be great fun doing it, so that is our next major project. We'll get this sugar beet harvest underway and see just how much sugar beet we can get out of the fields. And with this fill scale value that you see on what I showed you on those mowers, I was hoping to have the same somewhere. If I could find it somewhere on the sugar beet harvesters, but it's actually an old value that's not included in the game anymore. It's an extra bit of code that you've got to write in if you're adding in a little bit of code anywhere. And because of that, you can't actually... for most mods, it's not there, and I wasn't quite sure where I should be adding in the extra line of code if I was going to do it, so I chose not to do it. There we go. We're full. We don't have a lot of silage left. All that silage we made, and it's down here in one single load. Although I suspect that we will actually have plenty of... Oh, actually, I'll just lift that one. We should keep this one mixing, shouldn't we? I suspect that this is going to last us a while. We got 16 million litres of forage in here. So 16 million litres ought to last us a little while. I'm going to press this... Actually, no, I'm not. I'm going to go there. While it's unloading, I'm then going to press escape, and we're going to take a look at the power food and the silage and hay. That's actually an awful lot. 3 million litres of power food, 5 million for silage and hay, 9.9 left. So we've used over 6 million litres in here. We had 16 million altogether. So we'll switch that one off. That one can stay there. We will eventually be buying more cows, so we'll up it to like 10 million. So we've got everything that we could possibly want, and we're going to have a massive amount of cows. The only thing we don't have is the grass. I will see if I can increase the values on that grasshopper again, because that one does have the fill scale value, and some foragers do have that fill scale value thing as well. Forage wagons, I should say. You can get the forage wagons that have it, so that you can go along and you pick up grass and you get more than what is actually on the ground. And that's kind of a useful trait that we might be glad of later on. Right now, we're not going to worry about that. We are going to go over to here. We're going to go down to the shop. There we go. And our next task... Oh, those bales over there, I bought several bales of silage and straw over there, and they are all 4 million litres each as well. So we've got plenty of food for the cows. We've got no problems for cows for food at all. And next up, we're going sugar beet harvesting. Now, I couldn't change these. These are the in-game ones, so I don't know how to go about changing those at the moment, so I didn't worry about them. The HR6, now I modified that one to actually be about 75 meters wide. It may be wider than that even. And I've increased the speed of it. This one here, the HR12, I've increased the speed of it, but I haven't altered the width. And I'm actually thinking I would prefer this time to do our harvest with just this. I will get more than the one. For now, I'm just going to get the one, the T430. As you can see, I've changed the capacity on this one to 30 million litres. 30 million I felt was a pretty good amount. It would be certainly a good start anyway, so we'll take that one there. Selection is being purchased. There we go. So if I back out of there and we run over to our brand new machine, there it is. Now, if I just change the steering mode... That's the steering mode at the moment. How do I change? Oh, left control Y. I need to go like that. That changes the steering to everything steering. Now, it's got a reasonable bit of oomph, but unfortunately, when you engage all of the oomph that I've installed on this one, it does tend to glide a little bit like it's dancing on ice. And... yes, it's fine. So we do have a forage harvester that we can actually do some drifting with, which is a little bit unusual. It's not something you see every day. A forage harvester, a sugar beet harvester that you can drift with. It's not something you see every day, but it's something that we do have here and is something that we will be making use of. So we need to get this one up to the field, and we need to get a tractor and trailer up there as well so that they are ready. Like I said, I couldn't increase the fill scale value of this, so we're going to have a few million litres of sugar beet from our harvest, but we're not going to have as many millions as I'd wanted. I thought it could be quite interesting if I could like do it times 10 and really get like 50, 60, maybe even 100 million litres of sugar beet, but it's not letting me do that, so we'll have to do that another time. I'm going to get this up to the field and a tractor up there and everything ready, and then we can start our harvest. I'm just racing down here towards where we've got the sugar beet harvester, and I'll actually park up over here. We've got the pig pens down here, and this actually brings me on to my weekly question this week. Now, I did ask you previously if you wanted me to do pigs, and the answer was that you all wanted me to do all of the animals on the map. But I realized that, you know, people change your minds. People see, you know, as things progress, different thing, you want different things. So at the moment we've got a load of cows, and I'm planning to get a load more cows, and we're planning now to do this huge project with ploughing up the entire map, and we'll sort of give ourselves a buffer zone about this wide all the way around the edge of the map. Maybe we'll go out a little bit further than this, but I'm not quite sure. So yeah, we've got that massive project. We've got this sugar beet to harvest now, which is going to be the rest of today and tomorrow at least. So we've got quite a few different things that we've got to do. We'll be leaving here on November the 14th. We're going to go and spend a few weeks in South America doing that on the unrealistic side of things, because we're also doing the realistic series. Now, I did originally say we'd do 4 to 6 weeks down there. I suspect actually we're only going to do a couple, maybe 3 weeks down there doing unrealistic stuff. Because if we spend too long on that map with both series, it's going to get dull. So we'll fairly quickly process through that. and then we will move on to a new map. If the Australian one is ready by that point, we will then move to Australia and we'll start working through the 16 times map in Australia. If it's not ready by that point, we'll find another one to play around with for a couple of months before we move on to the Australian one. I'm determined to do the Australian one at some point though, so don't worry about it. But anyway, all that aside, we're running out of time. So do you still want me to do pigs? We've got the cows, and I'm hoping to add another 5,000 cows to that total, so we got 10,000 of them there. We got a load of sheep. We can't really put grass in for them, and they're a bit dull now. They're not really doing anything else, so sheep are kind of done. But yeah, do you still want me to do pigs on this map, or should we save the pigs for another map? Because there's quite a few different things that we could do with them. We could try farming the actual crops in order to get them fed and see how much we need to feed, like 10,000 pigs or something obscene. We can try setting up to buy in the feed for them, but I don't know if we got time to do that. I mean, I'd like to, but I'm genuinely not sure if we'll actually have the time. Do you want me to try to find the time to do it? I would say after we've done the sugar beet, then the ploughing, then we could work on pigs. If there's time for it, or we could like just keep doing some random little projects on this map until we move to a new one and then do pigs on the new one. So do you want me to do pigs on this map? Yes or no? It's your vote, it's your game. Head in the comment section down below, let us know which one you want and why, and of course don't forget to actually cast your vote in the top right hand corner. Now what I'm going to do here is we're going to start this one, and I'm going to go right over to the very edge as far as I can here before I start, so that I also want to keep reasonably straight. There we go, that's fairly straight. It should, in theory, just have take up the entire edge of the field all the way down through. Now, as you can see, I've increased the speed of everything. I increased the speed of the harvester, increased the capacity that the actual header can go at, but I have increased the width. So it will run at, looks like 62 miles an hour is the speed limit, although, no, actually it should be, I think it's this, 46 miles an hour is about the speed limit for the header. So it's not going to be so fast that this thing is going to start to drift and slide around, but it's still going to be pretty speedy all the way across the map. We're going to do this for a little bit here on this one. I'm not going to bring out the other one, the 75 meter width. I did it as kind of like an experiment, but I've decided I don't really want to run that on here. What I'd like to do is get a couple more of these running with this configuration. I think this could be more fun doing it like this. The hired help does go a little bit crazy when it comes out the end there. It wiggles all over the place. It doesn't seem to know what it wants to do. Eventually it gets itself straightened up, and then it will go herring off again in the other direction. Now I don't think that uses the AI vehicle extension. I think it's just using the standard hired help, which is kind of what we want it to do. So if we let that one run through, I'm also thinking it's 5 o'clock in the evening. Maybe we should jump forward until the morning, and the cows will have used up a bit of their food and stuff. We can sort of see what's happened over there, and then we've got the day ahead of us to do the sugar beet harvesting. And you can see we got 65,000 litres of sugar beet already. It's still on 0%, and this is why I wanted to increase the actual amount of yield that we get off of the field when we're harvesting, so that we get more millions of litres, because I'd like millions of litres on this. 30 million litres is the actual capacity of this machine. I don't think, though, that we're going to be able to unload on the go. I think that is going to be something that is going to be extremely difficult to do. I don't want to dump it in a heap on the floor either. That's something that I don't really want to do because of the way that the 4 times map works. We could have difficulty picking it all back up again. I want to unload it direct into trailers and then take it to wherever we're going to tip it and start sort of processing it from there. Now I am getting lag spikes. We do have an awful lot of stuff going on this map at the moment. We've got what have we got? We've got well, we've got loads of tractors on here. We've got all of those bales, which are increased capacities, which are going to make life a little bit difficult. The speed this one's working is also going to make life a little bit difficult. And the number of cows at the moment, and the numbers on there, that does seem to cause bits of lag if you have a large number of stock. And we've also got all the sheep and the sheep pallets. So all of that combined it is going to start causing a lot more lag. So you may notice this on the playback. I'm getting little lag spikes at the moment, and I do notice that the recording tends to get a little more laggy as well. When I can notice the lag spikes, it gets laggy for you guys as well. So I apologize if this isn't coming up very well, if it's not looking that great, but hopefully it will sort of work through it. We'll see. It's literally just going to have to be a case of wait and see, I think. But anyway, what was I going to say? Oh, yeah. So, yeah, we're running out of time. So my weekly question is, do you still want me to do pigs? Yes or no? Do you want me to spend a while working on pigs and all the different things that we could do with the pigs? Do you want me to save that for the next map? Not the South American one. That's going to be mostly where we concentrate on what we can do with the cows. Well, we'll look at the cows, but also the sugar beet. The sugar cane. The sugar cane is kind of going to be the big thing there. So we'll see about planting the whole map or something like that. And just have a little bit of a fun play around with sugarcane, and then when we've gotten bored with that, we'll move on so that we're not on the same map for both series. This is quite important for me, that we're not on the same map for both series. So yeah, do you want me to do pigs here still before November the 14th, or should we wait until the next map? So do you still want me to do pigs, yes or no? I'm literally just doing a yes or no one. It's your vote, it's your game. Head into the comment section down below, let us know which one you want and why, and of course don't forget to actually cast your vote in the top right hand corner. I love the fact that we've got so much smoke, dust rather I should say, steaming off the back of this machine. It's absolutely fantastic. That's absolutely brilliant, that really is. So this is our sugar beet harvest underway. We have now got 220,000 litres of sugar beet. And even though we're going through that long patch of mud right there, this harvester does seem to cope with it just fine. It does muddy it up quite a bit, admittedly, but it does seem to cope with it. What I'm going to do now, before we go, is one last little thing that I'd like to try. And I'm going to hop into our Rollin here as our really fast tractor. And I'm going to see if this one is capable of running alongside that sugar beet harvester and actually getting it to unload on the go. This is going to be a really, really tricky exercise, I think. And because of the speed that it goes along, I think it's going to be quite difficult to get it to do this. Also, the fact that that we've got the double wheels, and I'm sliding all over. No. This tractor is also quite slidey on the road, so I'm thinking that we would be better off just stopping at the end of the field rather than trying to do... Ooh, now maybe we can. Yes! We're doing it! We are actually doing it. It's working, and that's all we need to do. 240,000. Look at that thing go! Look. I'm tempted to try to do this with just one harvester. I mean, I don't think that's actually going to work very well. But it's a tempting thing to... I am very, 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 very tempted. I won't tip this out into the gorge today. I'm going to do that tomorrow. We'll get a little bit more sugar beet into here, and then we will go and do our first tip into the gorge. I think that would be a more interesting way of doing it if we do it like that. Rather than just the 200,000. We'll see if we can at least get 1 million. Tomorrow, I'm going to get another couple of these going as well. I'll put one over on the far side, and maybe I'll put 2 more in the middle. We're both working strips up and down, and we can sort of run at that. I suspect that we won't actually need to empty these out at all until we've finished the harvest completely. I think we'll get all... I reckon we probably get most of it all into 2 harvesters. But yeah, we'll see about that. If you enjoyed this episode, then please head down below and give us a like. And if you really enjoyed it, then please tell your friends all about me. Get them to come and watch as well. That would be awesome. But until next time, thank you very much for watching. This is Frithgar. Goodbye, and see you later.